Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you the poem The Laburnum Top by Ted Hughes. The laburnum top is silent, quite still. In the afternoon yellow September sunlight, a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. Till the goldfinch comes with the twitching chirp, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and the machine starts up. Of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings, the whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of her family. She strokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face, identity mask. Then the airy delicate whistle chirp, whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. Laburnum is here explained. The laburnum is a short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers, and poisonous seeds. Goldfinch is a small bird, singing bird, with yellow feathers on its wings. Now, the explanation. First, you will read the poem. After that, we will explain line to line. In this poem, the poet observes his experience, what he witnesses in the laburnum tree. It begins by describing how the leaves of the trees are yellow. Moreover, he notices that the tree top is still and remains silent even in the month of September. So take the first paragraph. The laburnum top is silent and quite still. The laburnum top is the highest point. Silence, there was silence. There is no noise. Quite, absolutely still. Absolutely still, there is no movement. In the afternoon itself is yellow. Yellow September sunlight. In the afternoon, the yellow sunlight is falling on the tree. That's why tree is already yellow, and with the sunlight it became more yellow. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. Few leaves are yellowing due to the autumn season, and all its seeds fallen. They are fell from the tree. First I will explain the poem, then we will talk about the literary devices. Here the literary devices is use September sunlight. September sunlight is the alliteration. Alliteration is the literary device in which the same sound is repeated. September sun, S. Then till the goldfinch comes. In the first paragraph you have observed that there was quiet stillness. There was no movement, absolutely silence. Till the goldfinch comes. The tree was silent till the goldfinch comes, till the small bird came there with the twitching chirp. Twitching chirp is again the literary device used here, onomatopoeia. In this, onomatopoeia is actually the sound words. Twitching chirp is the sound of the word. Twitching chirp, a suddenness, a startlement. Then suddenness, a startlement. Again alliteration, suddenness, startlement. At a branch end. Startlement, surprise. Suddenly there was a surprise that a bird came there, and there was a sound on the tree branch. There was a twitching chirp. There was sound of the bird. Then sleek as a lizard. This is very famous, noticeable. literary device as is used here. This is the simile. So simile is used here where as or like is used. Then sleek. Sleek as a lizard. Lizard is a very small and very tall. Slim सी होती है. And alert. Lizard is very alert. It observes the sound or the movement and it suddenly moves. Abrupt. Abrupt is suddenly. The bird is here compared with the lizard. So the bird is compared with the lizard, that as the lizard is small, alert, and suddenly moves, in the same way she here is used for the bird goldfinch enters the thickness in the depth of the tree, in the inner side of the tree, and a machine starts up. Here the bird's family is also compared with the machine, as machine, with the movement of the machine, the supply is given to the whole part of the machine, or you can say that the petrol moves to the all parts of the machinery. In the same way, as the bird enters in the thickness, the movement or the machine of that family starts up. It starts feeding its birdies of chitterings. Then the sound of birdies came, chitterings. And the tremor of wings. Tremor of wings, movement of the wings. So the movement of the wing, tremor is shown here. And trillings. Trillings, sound of flapping of the wings. The whole tree trembles. With the movement of the bird and its family, the tree trembles and thrills. Trembling is shaking. The tree started shaking and it thrills. It became happy. So here, this is the whole tree trembles and thrills. Here the tree is personified. Personification is used here. It is the engine of her family. It is the engine of bird's family. As engine feeds the whole machinery, in the same way the bird here feeds the family. She strokes it full. Strokes, she fills it full. She feeds the birds properly, full, then flirts out, then flies out to a branch end. And in the beginning, when the bird came, it first sits on the branch of the tree, then she enters the thickness. In the same way, when she came out of the thickness, it sits on the branch end, showing her barred face. Barred face is compared its identity with the mask. So here is the bird face is compared with mask, as the shadow of the bird is compared here, and the tree's branches are covering its face. Then with airy delicate, with very soft, airy, exact, delicate movement, whistle chirp and whispering. Whistle chirp is the again literary devices use onomatopoeia, the sound word whistle chirp. It gave the sound of chirpings or gave the signal to their birdies. Then whispering is the slow voice. She launches away. Launches, she moves away towards the infinite, unlimited sky. There is no limit of the sky. She flies away to the unlimited sky. And the laburnum subsides to empty. And again the laburnum tree was empty, as in the first paragraph. The poem begins with the stillness and silence and ends with the silence. So again the tree was empty. So now we will discuss the again the I will mark the literary devices here. So the first literary device we have used here, September sunlight. So September sunlight is alliteration. The same sound is repeated here. Again we have seen the next one by one we will do. Okay. Next, a few leaves yellowing is fallen till the goldfinch comes twitching chirp. Twitching chirp is the onomatopoeia wherever the sound words are used. Then sleek as a lizard. Sleek as a lizard is here. Simile. And she enters the thickness and machine starts up. Then the tremor of wings. Again the tremor of wings you can take in the onomatopoeia. Actually exactly this is not the onomatopoeia, but you can take the, there is a sound word. The whole tree trembles and thrills. This is personification. Just a minute, it is difficult for moment. I have to close this one. The whole tree trembles and thrills. Here the tree is personified. And again the her barred face identity mass is the transferred epithet. Actually transferred epithet is here the bird's face is compared with, or you can say is placed with, branches are placed or the flowers are placed before the face of the bird. That's why its identity was masked, its identity was hidden. After that there was a whistle chirp. Whistle chirp is onomatopoeia. Again this is the sound word. And she launches away and the subsides empty. So these are the we have read the literary devices used in the poem. Now we will discuss the theme of the poem or central idea of the poem. The poem here describes, laburnum top describes the mutual relationship between a laburnum tree which is large, beautiful, quite alone, and a goldfinch bird which is quite amusing, beautiful, but without a shelter. The laburnum tree gives the house to the bird, and its birdies in the turn takes away its dead silence. Birdies end the silence of the tree. So the poet wants to tell the readers the importance of living with each other. Every person has different capabilities and things. We should live with each other and always try to lend a helping hand, and the other will also do the same. The main question here is, what are the similarity between first and third paragraph? First and third paragraph are similar, as in the beginning the tree was silent, in the end again the tree was silent. The middle part of the tree, when the bird enters on the tree, the tree trembles. There was a movement in the on the tree. Literary devices we have used, and we have also seen due to the autumn season the tree has lost all its leaves and seeds are on the ground. Most noteworthy thing is that the poet uses yellow to describe both the leaves color and the sunlight over here. We have already discussed yellow to show the afternoon, and again the show the sunlight and also the color of the tree. Over here, yellow represents silence, death, and beauty. Thus, he uses this color and describes the whole setting perfectly. After that, he notices that the death-like scene of the tree comes to an end in the middle of the paragraph when the birds come to an end. When goldfinch jumped on it, the tree makes a sudden chop. Actually, not the tree, there was a sound on the tree. That's why the tree also is called, there was chirping on the sound upon the bird's arrival. He compares the quickness, speed, and alertness of the bird to that of lizard. In the second paragraph, the bird is compared with lizard. Its alertness, its quickness, speed is compared with lizard. Lizard, chipkli. When she starts moving toward the thickness of the branch, the nestlings or birdies start chirping and flapping their wings. This we have seen chitterings and tremor of wings. This is the movement of the wings is shown here. Thus, due to this movement, the tree also starts shaking and there was a trilling. Thus, we notice how the poet gives two contrasting scenarios while describing the tree. First was that it was death-like, and then it gains life after the bird lands on it. So in the second paragraph, the tree became alive. There was trembles on the tree. Clear? Further, the poet finally realizes that the goldfinch bird and the tree are the engines of her family. Why it is engine? Tree is engine because it has given shelter to the birdies, and goldfinch bird is the engine because it feeds the bird. When she brings food for the little birdies, she moves to the end of the other branch. He describes the bird's appearance. It has a striped face which is dark in color. Its identity was not totally visible due to branches or flowers. After that, her body is yellow and thus the blends in with the yellow leaves of the tree. Finally, after reaching the branch end, she moves a rather sweet chirping sound. Here it is given whistle chirping, whistle chirp, whispering. She gives a delicate, soft sounds she gave, and the poet compares the sound of whispering as she flies away with, in the limitless sky. Thus, after the bird leaves the tree, the Lebanon tree once again becomes silent as death, and death-like silence was there. So take the questions. What laburnum is called in your language? In Hindi language, it is called amaltas. Amaltas का पेड़. Which local bird is like goldfinch? Exactly we can't say, but you can small sparrow like bird or yellow bird we have not seen in our atmosphere. You can see that chirping sound of the sparrows. Now take the question. These questions you have to attempt in your fair notebooks. What do you notice about the beginning and ending of the poem? This I have already discussed while teaching the poem. In the beginning and the ending, the tree was absolutely silent. There was stillness. There was no movement. It was death-like atmosphere. To what is the bird's movement is compared? What is the basis of the comparison? The bird is compared here with the lizard. The bases are the bird's arrival. It is compared the quickness, speed, and alertness of the bird to that of lizard. The bases are the bird is very quick, alert, and speed is very fast, like lizard. छिपकली की तरह बहुत तेज होती है, क्विक होती है. Why is the image of the engine evoked by the poet? The image of the engine is evoked by the poet as engine feeds the machinery. It supplies food to the whole machinery. In the same way, here the bird feeds its birdies, and the movement of the birdies starts, and it starts chirping, flapping their wings. So it is compared with the engine. What do you like most about the poem? It's up to you. You can give the different answers. But in my opinion, when the bird came on the tree and the tree became alive. So this is the most beautiful part of the poem. What does the phrase her bird face identity mask mean? Bird face identity mask mean that the bird's face was covered with the branches and its identity was not clearly visible. He described the bird's appearance. It has striped face which is dark in color, and also when it came to the branch end, its face was not clearly visible due to the branches, flowers or leaves. So its identity was hidden. Note down the sound words. Sound words we have already discussed while discussing the poem. Twitching, chirp, chittering, trilling, whistle, chirp, etc. These are the sound words. Then movement word. Movement words are, we have to go to the actually the poems, but I will discuss flapping. Here go to the poem. Movement words are tremor of wings, trillings, trembles, thrills. So these are the movement words. Next question is the dominant color in the poem. We have already discussed. The tree is yellow, the sunlight or afternoon is yellow, even the bird is yellow. So the dominant color is yellow. Words which describe sleek, alert and abrupt. There is no need to write here. The words which sleek is very small lengthwise. Alert, you can say quick, and abrupt means sudden. Words with the sound ch or th, chitterings, trembles and chirps, trillings. Other sound that occur frequently in the poem. Other sounds are the tree trembles and thrills, and the main sounds are twitching, chirp, chittering, trilling, whistle, chirp, and suddenness, trembles. So these are the sound words. So you have to write down only 5 questions in your notebook, and these sound words you can also search, and also the literary devices. There is no need to write it. This is for just discussion. Look at the some other poem on the bird tree in English or in any other language. It's up to you. Usually these types of question cannot come. Write 4 lines in verse form on any tree that you see around you. If you have your interest in the poetry, you can write down and send it to me. Try to use literary devices in the poem, and if you are feeling any problem in the poem, you are free to talk with me. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.